They fought the Chinese, French, and Americans, but many Vietnamese consider the Republic of Korea the toughest foreign fighter troops they ever faced.
Hey, welcome to Intense History. Today we'll be learning about South Koreans fighting in the Vietnam War.
Believe it or not, over 300,000 South Korean troops participated in the Vietnam War. That's the second largest foreign contingent of troops in Vietnam, behind only the United States. The Korean soldiers that volunteered to fight in Vietnam would, quote-unquote, receive credit for 3 years of military duty for each year served in Vietnam, as well as additional monetary entitlements. Further, combat duty would enhance their future Army career. A deal made with the Americans stated that South Koreans would be given equal priority for air support as other units. The South Koreans were also given American weapons, including the M16 rifle, for superior firepower against their foes. The 2nd Marine Division, also called the Blue Dragons, made its debut in Vietnam in September 1965, as well as the Tiger and White Horse divisions. The South Korean soldiers were said to be more careful and display even better fire discipline and support compared to their American counterparts. Their methods of searching villages were effective by subjecting settlements to a series of detailed sweeps as opposed to Americans typically only doing one sweep. The Koreans had a high rate of weapons seized and were able to feel out the Vietnamese translators who were spies. In fact, American commanders felt the South Korean controlled areas were the safest, and the Vietnamese were said to avoid engaging Korean soldiers unless victory was certain. According to one U.S. report, quote, the enemy feared the Koreans both for their tactical innovations and for the soldiers' tenacity. The Koreans might not suffer many casualties, might not get too many of the enemy on an operation, but when they brought in 75 or 100 weapons, the Americans wondered where in the world they got them. They appeared to have a natural nose for picking up enemy weapons that were, as far as the enemy thought, securely cached away. Considered opinion was that it was good the Koreans were friendlies. The South Korean soldiers were able to surround an area by quick movement and stealth, and thoroughly search any area they fought in, receiving a very high enemy weaponry count. They would seal off an area no more than 10 square miles being brought in by land or air, which would come in at the same time. This cordon would be tightened and everything would be searched. Special reaction forces were used to plug holes in the perimeter if the enemy attempted to break out. The most famous battle fought by the South Korean troops was the Battle of Tra Bien. In February 1967, North Vietnamese soldiers were planning on cutting communication lines and then wiping out a Korean company. The outnumbered by 4-1 South Koreans were prepared for the attack and used their superior firepower to counterattack Vietnamese attack points. 246 enemy troops were dead, and only 15 South Korean troops were killed. That's a kill rate of over 16-1. In an operation called Hang Kil Dong, the Koreans inflicted a 24-1 kill ratio. It is estimated the South Koreans killed over 40,000 North Vietnamese soldiers. This video won't discuss much about South Korean atrocities, but roughly 5,000 civilians dead are attributed to them, and some Vietnamese consider the Koreans as the cruelest war crime perpetrators in the Vietnam War. Either way, their effectiveness can't be ignored. It is estimated the South Koreans killed over 40,000 North Vietnamese soldiers. About 4,000 South Korean troops were killed in the Vietnam War. So, what do you guys think? Were the South Koreans the most lethal fighting force in Vietnam?